Hello everyone, welcome to the Crystaly Recapped channel. And now you're going to hear a short review of the movie Section 8. It begins with a demonstration of a group of American soldiers. When they come across a man with a bomb, they order him to drop his weapon. The squad then asks for permission to clear the area of mines, and although the commander is against it, Jake does it anyway. Suddenly, another bomb goes off, and the enemy runs out of the building. Only Jake and Mason manage to survive. 5 years later, Jake is trying to start his life from scratch with the help of medication for post-traumatic stress disorder. After work, he comes home and tries to keep his son in a good mood, but it doesn't bring in any money and he has too much debt. Before going to bed, he tells his son about his military raids, and when the boy asks if he eliminated anyone, Jake just leaves. A new day dawns. Gasta's group gently hints that Earl owes them money. A fight breaks out and Jake emerges victorious. Earl admits that he used to be in the gang, but he got lucky and started a new life. He gives his word that he will protect the neighborhood, so Jake doesn't have to worry about his family. Late at night, he returns home and notices the bandit driving away. The man runs into the house, but it was too late. The whole family was dead. Now his brain is filled with a thirst for revenge. In the end, he manages to find the gang's car and send the whole gang to the next world. 5 months later, Jake is in prison and still can't let go of the loss of his family. Mason visits him with an offer to help, but Jake refuses because he believes that he should be the one in prison. At night, he continues to remember his days in the army and how Mason retired. Later, a man who heads a private firm comes to see him, but Jake doesn't want to listen to him and just leaves. Late at night, a group of men break into his cell and inject him with sleeping pills. When he wakes up, the same man is standing in front of him. His name is Ramsey. His organization is called Section 8, and in it, Jake can regain the meaning of life. Later in Washington, Ramsey introduces Jake to the whole team. They have 8 agents in Washington and 8 in different countries around the world. They receive assignments from the State Department, and usually they are related to elimination. Since Jake is a rookie, Mueller will keep an eye on him until he gets promoted. Jake will be given a bank account, an apartment in the city, and documents under an assumed name because Jake is presumed dead. The initiation begins with a fight, and Ajax throws a few punches, but Jake doesn't want to fight. But he doesn't hold back and knocks Ajax down and then walks away. Ajax says that Jake is afraid and has no place among them, but Mueller doesn't think so. A little later, the first mission begins. The task is to eliminate Castillo, an arms dealer. He has recently received dangerous documents that he wants to pass on to the Russians, but Jack does not want to eliminate people. After a while, they reach Mexico, and while the two gangs are talking, Jake eliminates a guard, which makes the group suspect each other of betrayal. A shootout ensues, and Jake advances, shooting the remaining mercenaries and eliminating the target. All that remains is to take the necessary documents. 2 girls are hiding in the car, and Jake asks them to keep quiet. After returning to the base, Ramsey scolds Jake for saving 2 lives. Jake is sure that they were innocent, and he should value other people's lives. Then Ramsey hints that he might send him back to prison. As he leaves, Mueller stands up for him, saying that Jake has done a good job. When he is alone, he calls a certain Locke. This Locke is fulfilling his mission in Nevada. The guy knows that Locke was hired by Ramsey and offers a lot more money, but Locke is not interested. He then tries to escape through the casino, but the guards recognize him as the criminal. Eventually, they open fire and he escapes in a stolen car. But Jake stops at a new house where his old photos hang. He wants to relax, so he goes to a bar where Mueller walks in. They talk about how they ended up here. It turns out that Mueller used to be in the army too. A few days pass and Ramsey has prepared a new mission. They need to eliminate Senator Graham and steal the data. The team arrives at the performance. Mueller breaks into the building, the alarm goes off, and the guards take the senator out. Jake runs to the car but misses the target. To catch up, he takes a shortcut by jumping down a hill. That's how he runs into Graham, who asks him not to kill him because he has a family. This brings back memories, so Jake decides to let him live. But a minute later, Ajax shows up and completes the mission. At home, Jake notices armed men passing by the window and immediately runs away. When a new day dawns, Jake visits his old friend and tells him what is happening to him. Mason tells us that the former 8th Division was disbanded back in the 90s, and the current one is for bad agents. If Jake decides to escape, he will be hunted down. Mason has never heard of Ramsey, but promises to make some calls. After that, Jake returns home, unaware that Ramsey has asked Muller to hire Locke to eliminate Jake, who accidentally runs into his son's best friend. He tells him that he saw men in black suits in front of his house that day. Suddenly, Locke appears and opens fire. In this confusion, Jake runs to Earl, but in 10 minutes they come for him again. The duo fights back against the mercenaries, including Ajax, who again wants to fight in hand-to-hand combat, but ends up grabbing a knife, after which Muller sends him to the other side. Earl survives and gives up the car keys. Later, Muller says that he wants to leave the squad as well. All Jake asks is to tell him where Ramsey is. A new day comes and someone attacks Jake. From the beginning, Muller wanted to trap him. Ramsey has a surprise for him. His friend is also in this squad, and they need someone with certain skills, and Mason has referred them to Jake's family. At dinner, Ramsey gives the order to eliminate Jake. Mason goes out first because he is a double agent. He's been hired to take down the 8th squad. Jake has to help him. An alarm goes off and the guards run into the room, allowing the duo to arm themselves and break through to Ramsey and Muller. Ramsey offers money to escape. As they argue, Muller tries to get closer. Mason notices this and covers his friend, but is shot himself. A hand-to-hand fight begins, and Jake emerges victorious. The only thing left to do is to catch up with Ramsey, who has lost his way and had an accident. Thanks to this, Jake finishes the job he started. In the evening, the police bring Jake to a meeting with the general. He offers Jake a job, but he refuses. If Jake changes his mind, he needs to call this number. Later, Jake returns home and is trapped by Locke, who wants to finish his job. A battle begins and Locke accidentally throws Jake in the direction of the gun, thereby dooming himself to destruction. In the last scene, Jake accepts the general's offer. This is the end of the movie. That's all for today. Subscribe and like if you want more videos like this.